Hi, my friends. Welcome to the Intro to Crystals 101. And I've done this 101 before, and we talked about similar things with just a handful of crystals. And in this particular class, I want to go a little bit deeper. So it will be a 101, but we're going to go a little bit deeper into some of the more kind of obscure crystals, the ones that you should have in your collection for sure, and then just some fun ones that I really, really enjoy. So let's talk about crystals as just out of the gate. A crystal and a gemstone are going to be used interchangeably. So I might refer to one as a gemstone or one as a crystal. That terminology is irrelevant. They mean the same things. And crystals, why it's fun to study these is crystals amplify and they raise energy vibrations, whether that is in our body and how we interact with the world, our space, our home, even our pets and the people in our home can benefit from the use of crystals. Even if they don't buy into it or they think it's just a rock, the energy that comes from them um, can work in ways that we don't quite understand all the time, or what we think. There's certain people who are naysayers and say these are just rocks and they don't do anything. They're still going to get the benefit. So they can help us when we're feeling low energy, when we're feeling upset, anxious, when we feel just stuck. Crystals are great for that. They're also great for just helping us to slow down. So we'll talk about how to use them for different things. And I will give you a few of my favorite resource books at the end of this. It'll be in the ebook if I don't touch on it at the end. But I want to really honor our time together and make sure that I don't inundate you with too much information, but I give you a good starting point where to go. So the evidence that crystals have been used forever began about 6,000 years ago, way back, ancient Egyptians. There's some documentation that using crystals back then for healing was there. And nowadays we use crystal healings. We hear more about it in some of the Eastern religions, Eastern theological traditions, things like that. And of course, if you are a practitioner of yoga, you understand the chakra systems. And so we can use crystals a lot of times to help with the chakras. And that's really important when we want to unblock energy. So it doesn't matter what your practice is, whether you're a yogi or not, whatever your religion is, it doesn't matter. The idea that everything that is matter has a vibration is all we need to know. The simplest of terms. You have an energy, I have an energy, animals, plants, rocks have energy. Anything that is matter has energy. And the effect of each crystal changes not with just its type, but it's also its shape and how we use it. So we also want to talk about a little bit about how they're activated and cleansed to be the most powerful for you. So that's sort of where we're going to go with this. And I want to make sure that if you have questions, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. So let's talk about how crystals work. Each crystal, as I said, anything that is matter has its own vibration, its own frequency. And if you are familiar with essential oils, you understand that each plant has their own frequency. You and I have our own frequency. That's why when we are with somebody that feels good, we are probably in the same frequency zone. When we're around somebody who's chronically down, chronically negative, chronic complainer, their energy is very different than those who are very hopeful, positive. So crystals work the same way. Each crystal has its own frequency, which corresponds to different aspects within the space, different aspects energetically with the entire universe. Each crystal contains distinct properties that contribute to its overall purpose. And we'll talk a little bit about each individual stone that you've got in your bag and what energy it is capable of helping you to attract into your world, whether that's an energy of being calm, an energy of abundance, and an energy of groundedness. We'll talk about that. So the properties include the crystal's internal structure, the type, the shape, and the color, whether it's raw, whether it's polished, whether you wear it, whether you set it in a windowsill. All of these different aspects come into play when we start to use crystals, putting them on our body, in pockets, wearing them. And a crystal's vibration and purpose is very dependent on the internal lattice work, how the atoms are arranged to make up the molecular structure. I don't want to get too scientific on that, but we cannot see with our naked eye the system that goes into this beautiful crystal, the lattice work, the atoms that make up this molecular structure. So you can, if you want to know more about that, I can refer you to some research. We can have a conversation about it, but I don't want to get too scientific. But know that the internal workings of each of the crystals, that's where the vibration comes from, and that's where the purpose of what we do with them come from. So when we choose a crystal, there's many ways to do this. I'll tell you how I do it. I go into the crystal shop with a clear intention, with clear space. I empty. I don't think I need to go get X, Y, and Z. Now, if I'm teaching a class, I know what I want to get, but for this particular one, I didn't. I knew I wanted clear quartz, and I knew I wanted black tourmaline. But the rest of them, I let them pick me. So when I go into a crystal store for myself, crystal shop for myself, I go in with an empty intention and no expectations. And I let myself be sort of drawn to something. I let the crystal find me. So before you go, I suggest, or before you look online, just pause, clear out your mind, take a few breaths, and then trust your instinct, trust your intuition to guide you what you need. And oftentimes I will go and I will find a crystal, or the crystal will find me, and I'll pick it up and I'll be like, I have no idea what this crystal does. It happens to be a desert rose. It's beautiful. It's crystally. You can't quite see it on the screen, but it looks like a rose, right? It's beautiful. It's gypsum, and so the atom structure creates these lines that makes it look like a rose. Now, I'm not sure what this does, so I go to my resource book and I look it up. And oftentimes when I choose something randomly, or it chooses me, and I look it up in my resource book when I get home, it's exactly what I need. Now, size does not matter. You know, having a huge piece of amethyst is awesome. This is a huge, not huge, but this is a moderate size piece of citrine. It's beautiful. But this little citrine is just as beautiful, just as powerful. So it depends on what you want it for. Like, I have a lot of these in my home. This is, you know, the outer part of the rock cracked open and this beauty was inside. So this is just a raw specimen. And I keep this one over in my yoga studio near my donation bowl, because this attracts abundance and it gives abundance. So as people put their donations into my donation bowl, not only am I putting the energy that I'm thankful for what I'm receiving in my teaching, but it gives them, as they place the money in the bowl, affirmation that their abundance is circulating in the world, and that what they give, they will receive. So it's a beautiful stone. So it can come like this, or you can have a little tiny one, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you prefer to have polished stones. This is a polished amethyst that you got in your bag. It's round, and they put it into a tumbler, and it takes away the roughness, but this is a raw cut amethyst. Okay, and this is even rawer. So this was once like this in bigger form, and then they stuck it into a tumbler and created a smooth stone. Now, the reason why I prefer sometimes to have smooth stones is I like to carry them in my pocket. It would be a little bit uncomfortable to try to stuff this into my pocket, my coat, or my jeans. So sometimes having a polished one is really nice. I would say don't feel pressured to spend a ton of money on stones, on crystals. You can find some very reputable places locally to me or online. And my local shop also ships anywhere, so that's good to know. All right, so when we first bring our crystals home, there's a couple of things that I do that I feel is really important, and I can do it a multitude of ways. I clean the crystal. I don't know who in the store picked it up. I don't know who played with it. I don't know what energy they put into it, because stones magnetize, they attract energy from other people, and I don't want the unknown. So this happens to be selenite. You received a polished selenite. We'll talk about it when we get there. This is a selenite rod. And this one sits over on my altar as well. I have many of these in my house, but selenite's a beautiful stone. You would never want to put water on a gypsum. So the desert rose or the selenite is gypsum. Water contact, it would just melt into nothing. It would become liquid. A polished tumbled stone, you can clean it underwater. But here's how I clean it. I clean it 2 ways. I stick them outside on my porch in the sunshine or in the moonlight. Even if the moon is on the other side of the hemisphere, I put them out on the porch. Or I light an incense or a sage, even a candle, and I put the crystals around the incense, around the candle, around the sage, and I let the smoke clear it. So that clears them away. And then as far as charging them, you can do the same thing. You can charge them with intention, with holding them in your hand, putting prayer into them, putting intentions into them, putting them in the moonlight and letting nature charge them. The sunlight is fine too. You can use Palo Santo, which is beautiful wood. It's a stick that you can burn much like sage or incense. When we charge them, we can program them with specific intentions. So to do this, you would hold it in your dominant hand and visualize the intention, repeat it as an affirmation from the I am, and then feel the fulfillment. So how we feel about something really helps to amplify our energy towards it. So if I'm looking for great health, I'm looking for a feeling of strength, then I might pick tiger's eye, the beautiful brown stone with gold bands through it. Also comes in a red tiger's eye, which is beautiful. I put it in my dominant hand and I set that intention that I am healthy. I am so healthy. My bones are healthy. My joints are healthy. My immune system's thriving. And then I start to feel that intention. I'm charging this crystal to raise the vibration of overall wellness in my life. Then I carry this with me until I feel that it's done. A lot of times when I lose a crystal, in the beginning, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I lost my whatever. I didn't need it anymore. If you feel very strongly to give a crystal to somebody, know that you have finished with it, you're done with it, offer it to them, suggest they put it outside for a night or in the sun for a day, or, you know, run it through a candle just to clean your energy and make it theirs. It's really important to do that. I get in a hurry sometimes and I just want to get with my crystals right away and start using them, but it's really important. So storing your crystals and displaying them is one way to bring sort of that vibrational energy into your space. I have crystals in almost every windowsill just to either protect from the negativity of the world at times from entering into my space, to clean my space, and to give back to nature. So windowsills are really important to me. I also wear crystals. I don't have one on today, but I usually wear a gemstone necklace, usually labradite, which it's not in your bag, but it's a beautiful bluish stone with some sort of rainbow colors inside. I do have a gemstone on. I knew I did. This is Sungite, and this is a great protector of electromagnetic feedback from devices. And since I'm doing a lot of computer work, I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself from that. It's also great for protecting ourselves from negativity. So you can wear them, you can display them. I have a couple of these little just sitting on my bedside table. And before I go to bed, I hold one in my hand. I have a citrine that's polished. It's about this big. It's a big yellow stone. I put that by my bedside, and as I lay down my head on the pillow in the evening to go to sleep, I hold my crystal for just a moment or two, and I acknowledge all of the abundance in my life and all the goodness. And then I just set it next to my bedside table. I put them in my essential oil blends all the time because they're amplifiers for the plant medicine. And that's really fun to play with different gemstones with oils. If you want to talk about that, I can definitely do a class on that as well, or a one-on-one if you're curious about how I combine the crystals with the oils. So using them is similar to storing them and displaying them. What's your purpose? Why do you want to wear this? Do you want to wear it for protection? Do you want to wear it to ground you? Do you have a lot of stress in your life? Do you want to wear it for purity, just to bring a sense of cleanliness to your mind, body, and spirit? Do you need something that works with inflammation in your body? This is a great gemstone for inflammation. So because I have inflammation in my body, I want to reduce that. I'm going to wear Sungite to slow down that inflammatory process. Why do you want to put them in your windowsill? Do you want to protect yourself from the outer world's influences? Do you want to elevate the space within your walls of having good energy, positive, hopeful energy? So those are reasons to think, why do I want to do this? I have a palm stone. So it's a round, like palm shaped stone. I don't have any out here that I keep by my bathtub, and it's a smoky quartz. And it looks like a little bar of soap, a round bar of soap. And oftentimes I put that in my water and just let the smoky quartz, which is an amazing gemstone for releasing and getting rid of toxins and getting rid of negativity. It's a protective stone. It's an emptying stone. I put it in my bath water just so that combined with the Epsom salts and the oils, it can do what it needs to do for me. So I do have that. And I also have a rose quartz near my bathtub that sometimes when I'm laying and soaking, I just set it right there on my heart just to get my heart space going. So it depends on what you're looking for of how you would use those. So I'm going to give you a list of sort of the most common crystals. And this is all in the ebook, so I'm not going to go in depth on this, but you're going to find in most crystal shops, the pretty popular ones are going to be the Amethyst, Carnelian, Citrine. Those are 3. You're getting 4. Will be clear quartz. Garnet is a beautiful, happens to be my birthstone. It's a dark red stone. You're not going to find as much raw garnet as you would in gemstone jewelry. Hematite looks like a metallic mirror magnet. Jade, of course, is an ancient stone used in many, many Eastern religions, Eastern traditions. Lapis lazuli is dark blue with some gold pigments in it, little tiny specks of gold. Moonstone is one of my favorites. It's an important stone for women, all ages, from pre-puberty through menopause. Moonstone is going to help to regulate some of those fluctuations of hormones. Obsidian is another protector. It's strong. Let's see, we have opal, pyrite, rose quartz. Rose quartz is a very inexpensive stone. It's a must for love, for unconditional love, for heart energy. Smoky quartz we talked about by the bathtub. Sometimes I wear smoky quartz. Tiger's eye you're getting, and turquoise, which we all know what turquoise looks like. So let's dive into your bag of goodies. We're going to go through these, and I want to make sure that you have sort of an overview of what each gemstone is. You can refer back to it, refer back to your ebook, refer back to this video if you'd like. But amethyst is it's the purple one, if you weren't sure. It's the purple, I gave you a tumbled amethyst versus that raw piece. Okay, a lot of times when I send an essential oil or something, you're often going to get something, usually a raw one. But anyway, amethyst is a natural tranquilizer. It helps to relieve stress and strain. It soothes irritability. This one is great for stabilizing the mood, kind of getting rid of anger. It's very cooling, if you will. It alleviates grief and sadness, and it helps to sort of dissolve some of the negativity in the world. To me, it's a must. I think every home should have one amethyst at least. It's also great for increasing spiritual awareness when we're looking at what's my intuition? What do I know that I'm blocking off? So dreams, imagination, gut instinct, intuition of the third eye, even psychic abilities. If that's your jam, amethyst is going to help with that. Physically, amethyst really helps with any endocrine issues. So our adrenal glands, our thyroid, our thalamus, our pituitary, digestive health, eye health. This is a very important one for any sort of addiction, whether that's a food addiction, a beverage addiction, a drug addiction. Amethyst is going to really help with keeping the brain stable to help go through that process of addiction. This one is probably one of the most popular because of its depth of color. It ranges anywhere from a deep dark purple to a beautiful lavender, and it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful one to have. The spiritual meaning of amethyst is groundedness, tranquility, and calmness. The literal meaning of amethyst is not intoxicated. So this one helps you to have that not intoxicated experience in the humanness. So that, going back to that addiction piece. So it's a beautiful stone to have. I have most of my amethyst in windowsills just to bring in that energy of calm, bring in the energy of no stress zone, just peacefulness. It's a good one to have. So I recommend having a more amethyst than this little ball. All right, tiger's eye. You can see when you look at it, this golden stripe that runs through it. This is the stone of protection. This is going to be your choice when you want to have some good luck come your way. This one helps you to focus the mind. This one is great for clearing the mind, helping you to resolve things from the objective lens and not be clouded by emotions. This one is really good at grounding you. This one gets rid of fear and anxiety. This one also, like I said, comes with red, so that it'll be more red than brown. And traditionally, way back in the beginning of kind of understanding how we used crystals and gemstones, it was carried as an amulet against curses or ill wishing. So a protection stone. Like, I'm not going to let your bad vibes kind of get into my world. So this one helps with balance. It helps us to take action. It helps us to give us the courage when sometimes we don't go after things because we're afraid. And so tiger's eye is like wearing armor. It's going to give us strength and not be clouded by our emotions of fear and anxiety, and confidence. It's a very strong gemstone. This is a perfect one to put in your pocket. It's a great one to, if you carry a handbag or a purse, to just slip in one of the tiny pockets if your bag is with you all the time. This is one to, I would probably say tiger's eye is one that you would wear more on your body than display in your home, although it is beautiful and comes in big chunks that are absolutely beautiful. But this is one I would say wear on or wear in a pocket or something. I've also been known to describe wearing them inside your bra if you're a woman, just because it's right there by your heart. All right, selenite. This one is in a ball. I've never seen these little globes before, and when the crystal shop that I went to last week had them, I snagged a bunch of them because they're fun. They're like this beautiful little marble. Now, I did drop my bag of crystals and 2 of them snapped completely in half. So be gentle, be careful. Selenite is our protector. This one is our cleanser. This one gets rid of things. So here's what it looks like most commonly is in a rod. And just holding it, holding it in my hand as I'm speaking, it is incredibly hot. So it may be that it's taking out of my body some inflammation, some stress, things like that. This is one that you can, after somebody comes to your space, like you have a dinner party and somebody comes and they bring a whole bunch of junk with them, you can actually walk around your room like this is a magic wand and just kind of get rid of that energy. Go over your doors, go over your windows, go around you. This is a wonderful way to get rid of that energy. If you've been with a lot of people or you've gone on vacation and you've had to be in an airplane with people you don't know their energy, but it sticks, like energy sort of is like when we have to spend time in a large crowd, we get these little tiny bits of everybody. Selenite's one that you can like literally just brush up and down you and shed that energy. It takes it just sucks it out. This one never needs cleansing, never needs charging. It does it on its own. I'll tell you a fun story with my selenite. I keep this particular rod over on my altar by my donation bowl. And it sits like this, and then the citrine's behind it, and then the bowl right here. And I took a picture of it because my altar's really beautiful over there. And when I looked at the picture on my phone, there was just this beam of light coming from the selenite, like a curtain of light. It was Absolutely beautiful. That's vibration. That's what we cannot see with our naked eye that my camera was able to pick up. So pretty cool. Nice to have these. I have one probably in every room of my main living space. So my living room has one, my dining room has one, my family room has one, my yoga studio has one. A lot of people come in and people know that they can pick it up and they can clear themselves if they need to before they practice. So really important one to have. I would say this little marble would be a great in your bag, in your bra, in your pocket to have with you, or your windowsill. All right, let's go on. Let's see, citrine is next. So citrine is all about abundance. This one is about activating our third power center in our body, our third chakra. This is about self-expression. This one is about fire in the belly, going after things. This is an important one to have when we want to recharge ourselves and find that motivation, that drive to keep going. Citrine is going to be great. Citrine also attracts abundance. So wearing citrine, using citrine in your windowsills to bring about hope and happiness and abundance, whether that's abundance, material abundance, or it's abundance of joy, abundance of happiness, citrine is going to bring that warmth into your space. Physically, this one is a great choice for somebody who's dealing with diabetes, stuff with the digestion, the spleen, the pancreas, think third chakra, all in the middle of the belly. This one also, though, helps with circulating the blood, helps with some eye problems. It detoxifies the blood, balances the thyroid. So you can see that between using essential oils and crystals, you have these tools that come from nature that are pretty powerful. And then when you combine them with a practice of mindfulness or yoga or walking in nature mindfully, you can really start to pull together a pretty amazing toolbox to treat some of our moods and some of our physical ailments. So citrine is a nice one to put out on display. Again, it's just a reminder of happiness. And so here's what I tell people, like they say, does citrine really help? Well, what if it does, is usually my answer. And then I also say, if this is just a symbol, a visual symbol, a token for me to remember how abundant I am, I'll take it. So you can use it as a visual reminder. Citrine, abundance, yes, count my blessings. I walk by my citrine that's at the bottom of my stairs on display. It's much like that raw piece I showed you. And I can look at it and just be reminded. So that's another powerful way to use them. And I will tell you, when people come into my space, whether it's my studio or my home, I just have had two different workers, giving me estimates on some work that I need done in my house. And both of them said, man, the energy in your house is really cool. It's because I have crystals everywhere. And the vibration is really good in my house. So black tourmaline, when you get your ebook, you'll see that the black tourmaline page, it shows this sort of a piece about this big, and it's very rough. And it looks almost like a petrified wood or an old log. So typically black tourmaline comes in that raw shape. You see it a lot in crystal stores. But I love to have a tiny little raw piece of black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is so good at grounding us. It's good at getting rid of negativity. It's an emptier. It's also a huge protector. So it's going to protect us. It's very similar to selenite. It's going to protect us from the onslaught of stress and negativity in the world, from bad energy, bad being negative, complaining, heavy, toxic. And we've all experienced people where we can't put our finger on why we don't jive with them. It's their energy. It doesn't match with ours. Doesn't mean we're better than them. It just means that our energy is at a different place. So that black tourmaline is going to protect you from absorbing the negative energy of somebody who's filled with hate and rage and all of that. So important to wear or on or in your body, pockets of jeans, handbags, bra, black tourmaline is really important. This also is a pretty common beaded bracelet. That is just great to slip on. You can just wear it and then forget about it. All right, sodalite. Sodalite is beautiful. It's blue, and it has these beautiful webs of light. And sodalite is typically used when we're thinking about speaking clearly, when we're thinking about having courage to kind of go forward with our dreams and speak about our dreams. This one is really good for anything related to the throat and the neck. We have a lot of neck tension. Just resting the sodalite on the back of your neck and holding it there. The vibration of the stone is going to help with alleviate some of that stressfulness that lodges in our neck and shoulders. This is a great one too for our intuition and just sort of our ability to listen and then speak. Listen and speak, communication, reciprocity. Sodalite's important. It's a beautiful blue stone. This is one that you would put maybe on display where in your home where conversations happen a lot, maybe near your dining room table or in your kitchen window, where sometimes you need to have just a little extra goodness in your space that offers open communication lines. It's important. This is a beautiful one to have. Comes in different sizes and shapes. I've only ever seen it tumbled. I've never seen a raw piece of sodalite. And you can find jewelry, sodalite jewelry too, if you'd like to wear one close to your neck. So let's move on to clear quartz. This is one that every person should have, at least one of these. This one is known as the master healer. It amplifies the energy by absorbing, storing, releasing, and regulating energy around you and in you and other things. So we often hear like in the essential oil world that copaiba is, or copaiba, however you choose to say it, is very similar to clear quartz, and that is an amplifier. So we use copaiba in other blends to amplify the properties of the other oils. Clear quartz will amplify the properties of each of the other stones. So this is an important one to have. This one helps the immune system stay healthy. It helps to balance out the entire body. It brings clarity to the mind. So it's wonderful to have when you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, stressed out, when you need just a little guidance and you need to clear the mind from all the thoughts that you're having. Quartz is a great choice. I would say your home, having these on display here and there around your space, brings clarity to the space. This is one people often say it doesn't need to be cleansed. I disagree. I think this one absorbs so much that putting it outside pretty often or smudging it or incensing it or smoking it is going to be really important. You can carry one of these. These are incredibly affordable. Stick one in the bottom of your purse and just let it do its work. Important. It comes in all sizes, big, small, tiny. Often my essential oil blends will have some clear quartz in them just to amplify both the plants as well as the other gemstones that I put in. So carnelian is a fun one. Carnelian is actually the first gemstone I ever purchased was a carnelian. And at the time in my life, I didn't know what it meant, what it was, why to get it, but I loved orange. I still love orange. I love carnelian. It's such a beautiful, warm stone. This one is an excellent choice when we need creativity, when we need some support with one-on-one relationships, when we need to feel connected, when we need to feel healthy in our physical form, like our body's working in good health. Carnelian is so good. It's warm. And I have a lot of carnelian in my world, mostly little tumbled stones. I have a dish of stones that I keep next to my book and coffee every morning, and I just dig my hand into that dish and I just let them roll around. So it's not uncommon at all for me to just have three stones in the morning that I just roll through my hands, and I often don't think about what I'm choosing. I just stick my hand into the dish, and whatever I grab, and I let them do the work. I also use my gemstones a lot in meditation. So when I come to stillness, even if it's just closing my eyes for a few minutes and breathing, I will often hold a gemstone in my hand, and carnelian is one that is in every dish that I have because I have a lot of carnelian. I love it. It's really a beautiful stone to have, and you'll read more about its properties in the ebook, but it's one that I think is a must. I think it's one to have and hold and love and enjoy, absorb those energies. Green aventurine, this one is a great oil when it comes to, a great stone when it comes to working in the heart space. Rose quartz is like the one we always turn to when we think about heart and unconditional love, but green aventurine not only has very similar properties to rose quartz when it comes to unconditionally loving, but it also has this sort of trademark of lucky love, of being in the flow of goodness, being in the flow of love. And that love isn't, I'm not just talking romantic love, I'm talking about love of universe, love of your purpose, love of your friendships, love of what you do for work, love of nature, just pouring in this love. And it leads to this abundance because we recognize all that is so good in our life. Green aventurine's fun. I have a larger stone that I keep in my bathroom up on my, I feel like a tall shelf in my bathroom. I have many, many stones up there. And green aventurine just makes me smile. It's fun. It's beautiful. Sometimes it has some lighter green shades to it and that dark, beautiful, warm green. And then I've even had one that a person that I gave had a little bit of orange on the backside, and it's beautiful too. So green aventurine is fun. You can wear green aventurine a lot. You'll find a lot of bracelets and necklaces made of green aventurine to bring you luck and love on your travels, and that's a fun one to have. So those are the gemstones that you got, and you have some rough ones, you have some tumbled ones. You could display them in a row if you wanted to. I typically have my chakra stones in a row. I have a couple sets throughout my house, but you could put them anywhere. You could get a small dish. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be a kitchen bowl, and just sit with them and just let them kind of congregate together. And every once in a while, just grab one and trust your instincts on this. It's so fun to collect crystals and gemstones, and it's so fun to use them with essential oils, with a yoga practice or meditation practice, just to wear as jewelry, just to have. And I hope that you'll find time to shop for some crystals online or at the shop that I go to locally. They have beautiful stuff, and it's just fun to start this process of seeing what can I bring in that's natural and change sort of the vibe and the mood in my life, in my home. And it's much like when we diffuse essential oils, we can moderate the mood of our home. Crystals work very similarly. The more we have going, they don't interact with each other. You're not going to have any like bad thing if you put an amethyst and a carnelian together. It's just, they're good. Just same with essential oils. So I think the joy comes when you recognize the beauty of them, when you recognize the potential of them, the simplicity. Like, look at this beautiful citrine, the depth of it, and just simply putting it on a table, a side table, as you walk by, and you remember, and you pick it up and you hold it. That's enough. If it brings you joy, that's perfect. But just play with it and see if in the coming weeks to months, if you notice a shift in your space, if you notice a shift in your mood, stick one in your pocket when you have something, a hard meeting, bring your Sodalite with you. If you have to communicate or you have to do something that's scary, your tiger's eye, protection, put it on you, put it in you, and use it as just a tool in your toolbox. There goes my selenite ball. Use it as a toolbox, part of your toolbox to creating a life that's peaceful and harmonious and positive and hopeful, and have fun with it. Don't worry about it. Whatever you choose is right, and however you display it or wear it is right. There's no wrong way to do this. When I first stumbled into a crystal shop, I had no idea what I was doing, and I chose carnelian. It came in a ring. I still have it. It's about this big. It's beautiful carnelian ring. And at the time in my life, this was about 18, 19 years ago, I was very stuck, and I did not have good relationships. And I didn't know why I was so drawn to carnelian, but when I learned about carnelian, I learned about its ability to help bring fluidity into my relationships and into my life and give me confidence in my body. It all made sense. It all made sense. So I still love carnelian because it was my first. It's like when you smell that first oil, that's when we love the most, typically. All right. So that's what I have for you. If you have questions, please ask. I've done a crystal grid class that is putting them in a geometric shape on purpose, and we can revisit that. I do have that one on video, so if you're curious about that and you just don't even know what a grid is, reach out to me. I can send that to you. As we go forward, I'll continue to offer these classes. I might get more specific into certain, ailments. Like we may do an entire class on just mental health using crystals, and then some physical health like immunity, or if you're struggling with pain. And I'm a person that struggles with daily pain, and I do use crystals to support that, even if it's just my mind saying I'm grounded, I'm healthy, I'm whole. So for the skeptics out there, they can come up with all these reasons why crystals don't work, but the history shows they do. The generations, the thousands of years that people have been using crystals in all traditions, all walks of faith, crystals have been used. So for the people that are skeptics, I say, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe if you just recognize their beauty, that's enough. If it pulls you out of your head and out of your worry for a moment, it's doing its job. It's doing its job. And for those of you who want to know more, you just get deeper into understanding how they work, why they work, and how to use them. So that's what I got for you. I am so grateful that you signed up. I look forward to continuing on with this and sharing more as I gain more understanding. And even though I've been studying and I have a certificate that says I know what I'm talking about, I still want to learn, and I still love learning. So if I don't know the answer to your question, I'll find it and we'll have a conversation. So I hope you come back for more. Enjoy these 9 crystals. Put them in a little bag, put them in a dish, put them in your pocket, put them in a windowsill. It's endless and it's fun. Now, I did cleanse your crystals before I bagged them, but I'm giving them to you. I know my energy's good. I don't know how the energy is from when I dropped them in the mailbox to your porch. So you might just want to set them outside. Put them, I have like on my doorbell, and then I have like a brick row. I haven't just lined them up there. The sun hits them, the moon hits them. That's it. Or light some incense. Set an intention that says, these crystals are clear. They should be clear, because remember, you have selenite in the bag, so you're good. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Please let me know if you have questions. Enjoy the ebook. It's yours forever. Save the link to the ebook so that you can refer to it later. I open up a note section in my phone for things that I need to go back to. So just title it Crystals, save that link, and that ebook is yours forever. All right, talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for coming.